Hello, I'm Bert Bassett. I've been a business seller on eBay for over 20 years. I even worked for eBay for 11 years. I've helped thousands of sellers of all sizes to grow their sales on eBay, and now I'm creating videos to help you. In this video, which is provoked by someone just putting a comment under one of my other videos, so take the hint, leave comments under my videos, is about eBay research, Terapeak, as it used to be called, but it's been renamed. And I'm also going to throw in some stuff about a third-party option you can use for additional research. There are plenty of companies. I'm going to talk about Shelftrend. No, Shelftrend are not paying me. This is my attempt at a one-take demonstration of Terapeak. Old school eBay people will call it Terapeak because there used to be a company called Terapeak. eBay bought them and slowly changed their software and integrated it into Seller Hub. So it's actually eBay product research and eBay sourcing insights, which you can find in the research tab of Seller Hub, as I'm showing you here. We'll start with sourcing insights. I'll just literally run you through how it works, how I can do it. You've got sourcing insights, you've got saved categories. So ones where you've done a search and then you've decided, I want to look at this category again and again without doing a search, in which case you can save it here. You've also got search and browse. So what you can do is you can pull a category and run reports on it, and then you can save it. And also what it does is eBay pushes what it thinks are the top categories at the moment. And you can change the listing site here. So I'm doing .co.uk, God Save the King and all that. You can do whatever territory you're actually in. And it will give you top line. But ultimately, whichever one you use, save categories, search and browse top categories, you can pick what you want. And obviously it'll take you down to subcategories. So just for fun, let's do birds and wildlife accessories. Let's do bee and insect houses. So what do we see here? As ever, you can do auction and fixed price. Boo, we don't like auction. You can do all conditions, new, used and pre-owned, refurbished, condition not specified. And then what it's going to do is it's going to give you this. And don't forget that whenever you see one of these graphs, usually it's the least useful part that they show on the first bit. I mean, who cares about click-through rate over time? It will tell you how many listings there are over time, and the timescales are for a year. Shows you that for some reason bee and insect houses, the listing is really growing. Hard to tell if that's seasonal or not. And then if you move on, gives you total items sold over time. So you know that if you're going to be sourcing bee and insect houses and you're going to be pushing them, then May is the time, and November as well for some reason. Anyone who knows about bees, please pass a comment in the comment section below to let me know why. What you can also do is you can scroll down and it talks about top opportunities. So, what people are actually looking for within the category. You can explore item specifics. It appears that the color of your bee house is the most important thing. Who would have thought it? And then it shows you what the top listings actually are. And if there is a live link here, you'll see, because the little hand thing comes up, you can click and you can have a look-see. So this is going to give you an idea of the size of a market, what really works and things like that. I mean, it's really interesting here. Gives you an idea of the value of things, is that this is considered a top listing, but it's actually not a bee house. It's insects stuck in resin from a seller with only 97.1 positive feedback. So take that as you will. Now, not many people actually use this. I mean, it's not really something that's amazingly useful. However, one thing that is much more useful is the product research part. Now, this used to be really good. So again, if you've been on eBay for a long period of time and you remember Terapeak before it was even part of eBay, it used to really give you some good insights and actionable stuff. But keeping with the theme, This is only keyword based now. So you can only search for keywords. You can then filter by category. So again, that's awkward. Like you can't see what's going on in the mobile phone category in detail. You can't see what's going on in the DVD category or what's going on in the shoe category. You can just type in a keyword. So in theory, anyone who's selling a bee house is probably going to have the words bee house in it. And then just in case there's a brand called Bee House, or you can buy shoes with the word Bee House written on them, or some madness like that. I mean, a better example is, for instance, there's a brand Diesel, which is clothing. But obviously you might be looking for diesel, the fuel, as in something that's powered by diesel. So sometimes it's a good idea to also filter by category. So you would do that. So I'm filtering there. You can change the date, as in the date range, up to last 3 years, and you can do custom and do any range within the last 3 years. One really frustrating thing is if you do a search and then you do another search, it tends to reset any filters you put in unless you click this lock selected filters. So for instance, I could be searching for bee and insect houses and change the condition filter, the format filter, the price filter, or the top rated filter. Then I go, actually, I want to change the time period and look at something different, at which point it would reset everything, including the category. So annoyingly, this is just remember this thing. Lock your selected filters if you're going to do more than one search. So this is telling me all of the top line data. Now, annoyingly, what it does is it gives me an average sold price, but it doesn't give me a total amount of items sold anymore. And it used to be, it would give you that. And you think, well, I can work it out from the other numbers they give me, but it's just frustrating. They're making it, I think it's, for the privacy of other sellers, really, and to make sure they're not giving out material information. And that is an issue. Like, for instance, eBay is not allowed to splurge loads of publicly available information about the volume of trading on their platform because it's a publicly traded company. And if people know just before earnings results come out, if they can work out what the earnings are going to be by kind of analyzing all these charts, then it could cause problems. I mean, that's a fairly dramatic explanation for why they have effectively neutered this product, but it is one form of explanation. So when you look at this again, scrolling, average sold price doesn't really help you very much. Total sold does. But as I say, if you wanted, for instance, to say, well, I know the average price sold is 1108, so how much is total sales over this 3-year period? You would have to hover over each individual date point, filtered down to weeks at the moment, and then it will tell you how many is sold in that week. So it's just a ridiculously time-consuming exercise. And so it's a snapshot product, or it's a from space looking product. You can either see a very broad picture or you can see a very specific picture of what's going on. But as I said, I'm interested in bee houses. I could do new bee houses. I could use bee houses. I can do auction best offer fixed price. And I can do a price filter because I'm not interested in bee houses that cost under £20, for instance. And I can exclude top rated listings, or I can show only top rated, which is again a useful thing because if you yourself are top rated, you are competing in a different competitor set, really. There are some people who really do want to buy off top rated sellers. Then you have a little looky-loo, and what comes underneath here is your listings. And once again, if you are hovering over it and the hand comes up, that means that listing is live and you can click on it and you can see what's going on. There will be some listings, for instance, which have during this period, they've come along, they've sold a few products, and then they've stopped selling because they've run out of stock or given up selling the product or something, in which case you won't be able to look at those listings. And in some categories, frustratingly, the ones that have done really well will be ones that you can't click on. But what it's going to give you is average sold price, average postage, and it has a little information box here and there, the amount sold, the total item sale, and the date last sold. And you will, obviously, if you can click on it, you'll be able to see the seller. Now, this is, remember, it's a tool for a couple of things in your day-to-day life. One is, well, it's more than a couple, actually. One, I've got something and I'm not quite sure what it is, so I'm going to search for things and see what price it's previously got. So this will make me think that looking at these prices, B houses go for about £10. The posh ones go for more, the cheaper ones go for less, but the sweet spot as far as sales are concerned is around £10. So that's kind of where I want to be when I'm sourcing a B house. That's the kind of pricing range I want. If you've read my other videos, you'll also be looking for what was the most expensive B house sold, and so you'll be thinking, well, maybe I could get £20 for it, is the thing. But what it also does, which I think is useful, is when you actually click on a really successful listing and when you look at all these listings, this is a primary source of good keywords, because if they're selling a lot, then these are the keywords that are doing well for them. So you can start looking, right, I need nesting. It's not just a house, it's a hotel, outdoor. I mean, I'm not sure many people are keeping bees indoor, but you do you. All of this stuff is useful. And then again, you actually look at the item itself, and one, you'll be able to see a lot more about it, but you'll be able to see the kind of images that they have. This one's out of stock at the moment, but the listing is still live. You'll be able to see their item specifics, and then you'll be able to see how they present and describe their item. So that's why Terapeak is pretty useful. The other thing that it does is it combines average sold price and total sold. So it can tell you as well, not just when more stuff is sold, but when it's prime in season. So it's not selling because it's cheap at certain times in the year. It's actually selling because it's popular and in season. So again, this is going to help you with your pricing information. You will know that, for instance, in the beginning of January, you're probably looking at discounting in order to sell. Whereas in the May period, you might be able to get your full price. You might be able to get more for what you're doing. So that's kind of how Terapeak works. But obviously, it doesn't have really deep functionality, but it's probably going to be a pretty useful tool if you use it that way, like get all of the goodness out of it. One last thing, which I forgot to put in, is there's little sorting things here. So if you want to see what the most expensive bee house was, you would click on this, and inevitably it sorts in the, actually on this occasion it sorted in the direction I wanted it to. So someone has sold a job lot of 80 bee houses for £273. This, I think, at £71. This is like the Buckingham Palace of bee houses, and only one has been sold. It's out of stock, so and it's not a listing anymore, so we can't actually look it up. With some of these ones, we won't be able to. By the same token, you can sort it by the total amount of items sold. So you can look at this and it will go, right, that is the one. But then actually for some expensive items, they may have sold less in terms of quantity, but they might have made more money. So you can sort by that. You can obviously sort by date. And if you're looking at auctions, you can see what tends to get the most bids. Now that might be interesting, because if you have a category where you're not sure what's going on, but you notice that these things always acquire bidders, then, you could break my rule and do an auction. What if eBay or Terapeak is not enough for you? Well, I'm just going to show you one piece of software that it's one that I use. Now, lots of warnings here now. When someone recommends something like this on a YouTube video, you've got to ask, why are they doing so? And in a lot of cases, they're being paid. And the rule should be that you tell people that you're being paid if you recommend something. And so I'm not being paid by eBay. That much is definitely true. I'm not being paid by Shelftrend either. I am paid by some companies, and I will tell you if I am. I'm doing this Shelftrend endorsement because it's the product I use, and I quite like it. Will it solve all of life's problems? Probably not. But certainly, if you're looking to experiment with something to see that I might want more data and will it be useful to me on a day-to-day basis, there are far worse places to start than Shelftrend. And also, because I'm an opportunist, dear Shelftrend, do you want to send me some beer or something like that for being your super best buddy? I will not say no to that. Don't worry. But I'm not doing this for money. I'm not actually doing it for love either, just to give you an idea of something. So with Shelftrend, it's just a little bit deeper. And actually, if you're flipping and reselling and you have lots of unique items, it may not be worth the investment of doing things. This actually works a little better if you have items with depth of stock where you have lots of competitors selling the kind of exactly the same thing and you need to really work things. But you can look at the reports and see for yourself whether they're very useful. I don't use all of the functionality, and I'm not going to run through it all because, quite frankly, they don't pay me. I'm not interested. Um, what I can tell you is that it's $29.99 a month. I'm assuming they're an American company. Um, they do have a free trial, but if you do the free trial, basically it's a massively stripped down version which is of no use to you whatsoever. So it's a bit of a weird one. What they should probably do is a trial which gives you the full functionality but in a time limited fashion or with a limited number of queries. But in fact what they do is they give you a rubbish version of their software as a trial. So, like, marketing tip, fellas at Shelftrend, your full product is good, your trial product is poor. So when people trial your product, they think that your product is poor. Anyway, moving on. I'm just going to show you the reporting. So it obviously it involves scanning and calling and looking at big databases. So you may see some delays, and it's not necessarily the quickest software. This isn't going to be ideal for what is effectively a live stream of consciousness demo, but what I don't really use supply demand on new listings. I'm sure like they might be useful to some people, but I don't even know what they are really. I use top 500 live listings and average weekly sales. So if you are, for instance, an enthusiast of the popular 1980s television show The Love Boat, and you're selling in the United States and you specialize in Love Boat memorabilia, you can type in here, and it might suggest sub searches for you, but I'm just going to go for Love Boat. If I know the names of some sellers within the category, and bear in mind with this, it's the actual name of the seller, their user ID, not their shop name. So what you'll actually have to do is look at their feedback page, and on their feedback page they'll have their actual account name, which often will have dots and underscores or maybe different from their shop name, because you name your shop anything you want within reason. It doesn't have to be the same as your username, so you need the actual username, and then you can just pick a condition here and you run your report. And what it's going to do here is it's going to take its little bit of time. If I was a singer, I would sing you a song now. I'm hoping there's not a lot of data here because there's not a lot of items for the Love Boat. Let's see how long I can stall. But here it comes up. So for the keyword the Love Boat, you can add in some extra filters here if you want. But what it's got is it's got 500 listings. It's looked through 86,000 search results. It's got the price range. I mean, you can read, you can see all of this stuff. But in this tab, it's got the sellers, and there will be the sellers who are, and you can again sort by how much money they're making and so on and so forth. So it would appear that the big seller here is Pop Market, who've got 8 listings. The top rank of which is 4th. They've had a quantity 1770 and they've sold over time 1737. And with this one, you can then, so now you have the seller name, you can click on them and you can go back and do other searches and see what else they can do. I'll come back and look at the detail. What you can also do is you can see the brands of product for this keyword that sell well. So unbranded, Paramount, Spelling Entertainment, Super 70s, Gildan. So Gildan will be t-shirts. And then you've got the actual listings which are doing best. So from a ranking, this is from a ranking point of view, but obviously you can sort by sold or price and things like that. I'm not sure how they work out ranking. I don't know the technology behind it, but if it's true, then, well, this is great if you know what rank it actually is. But as you can see, Love Boat Season 1, Volume 1 is the thing that comes up top in their view for the keywords, the Love Boat. And you can scroll down, you can see it's largely media here. So if you're not actually selling the DVD of the Love Boat, if you're selling like pictures of Captain Steubing in my office, I actually have a signed photo of Ted Lang, who was the barman in the Love Boat, which I purchased and I truly, truly love. But yeah, you might want to filter the category. So, for instance, Morgan Brittany autograph here has come up as quite a high-ranking thing. And you can hide images to make the things quicker. But if we go back here, see, I think the thing that's useful is where you have sellers and stuff, I can say, well, Pop Market is doing the best. So I'm going to click on Pop Market and it's going to show me what they sell. And it's going to say, right, these are the items that they actually have. And it's going to do things. This is quite good if you want to identify successful sellers within your category, people that you want to aspire to be, and then you can, for want of a better word, stalk them using this. And probably the reason why their trial product is in fact poor compared to their paid for product is you could potentially just pay the $29 for the full price product and then just play with it for a month. And then go about your business, do things normal. And then when you feel as though you need another burst of information, pay for another month because there's no long-term contract on it. So that's probably why they say, well, we're not going to give a free trial because even if we give someone a day, they might make it their special day of research and get all of our lovely goodness without really paying for anything. So sorry I was mean to you, Shelf Trends. Now, obviously, other providers do exist, and you can just Google them. Google eBay research tools and things like that. But to me, Shelf Trend kind of does the most that I would want to see. In terms of this kind of reseller, I don't know what the item is. What should I be selling for? Who are my competition? So it's probably worth a go. But as you can see, you can do a job with the eBay Terapeak product as well. So you don't need to spend this money. And also remember, as with all of these things, if you are more of a hands-on kind of person, then there isn't really much of a substitute for actually just typing in the Love Boat, looking for stuff, and remembering that you can click on completed items, and then it's going to tell you what's completed. And if it's green, it means it's sold. If it's not green, it means it didn't sell. So again, you can get information without even using any of these research tools. So I hope this video has been useful to you. If it is, please like it, please subscribe, and also tell your friends. All of that really helps. And let me know how you get on and if there are any more questions within the comments section.